Hello everyone, in this video I want to show you how to factor quadratic trinomials where a is not equal to 1 using the trial and error method. But what I first want to start out with is showing you how to factor quadratic trinomials when a is equal to 1. So when the coefficient of my n squared or x squared term is a 1, I want to show you how to do that first, and then that will lead into when we're looking at a is not 1. So when a is 1, it's pretty easy. You look at factors of your C term, so factors of your constant. So numbers that multiply to get negative 72. So when a is equal to 1, you have to pay attention to your sign when you write down factors of C. So factors of negative 72, what numbers multiply to get negative 72? So we have 72 times negative 1, negative 72 times 1. So all these numbers multiply to get negative 72. Um, negative 2 times 36, 2 times negative 36, um, 3 times negative 24, negative 3 times 24. Let's see, 4 times negative 18, negative 4 times 18, 9 times negative 8, negative 9 times 8, 6 times negative 12, negative 6 times 12. So there's a lot of them there. Now, one of these pairs is going to add to get you negative 1. So you have to choose one of these pairs. They're not, you can't do all of them. So one of these pairs will add to get you negative 1. So we look down the list and we see this one. Negative 9 plus 8 will get you negative 1. So this is the one, this is the pair of numbers you're going to place within these two sets of parentheses. So we know from foiling that our first terms in each set of parentheses are going to multiply to get the first term in our quadratic trinomial. And then we place these two. It doesn't matter how, we just write negative 9 and then positive 8. And we can check with foiling. We can do first, outside, inside, last. And we'll see that once we multiply and simplify, we get n squared minus n minus 72. And so with a equals 1, it's pretty easy, straightforward. This, it probably takes 1 or 2 times for you to actually write down where you will need to write down all the factors, but you can pretty much see right away, well, it's going to be negative 9 times 8 because we need the negative 1. So you won't even need to do that. Where a is not equal to 1. So it becomes a little bit more, becomes a little trickier. There's a little bit more messing around with the numbers that you need to do because you are not only worried about getting 6, but you also have to come up with factors of the a term to get that middle term, to get that middle number. So, so yeah, so it becomes a little bit more work, but still, not impossible and actually pretty fun, in my opinion. So over here, we just have to get numbers that multiply to be C. And we're going to do the same thing here. So numbers that multiply to be 6. And we're not going to worry about the sign here. We're just going to write down just numbers that multiply to be 6. We don't have to worry about if we get the negatives in there. We're not going to worry about the sign just yet. But not only do we have to multiply numbers here to get C, but we also have to worry about numbers that multiply to be our A term, so 15. Then we have to worry about placing them into two binomials, just like we did when A was 1. So we have to pick one pair of numbers from this set of numbers and one pair of numbers from this set of numbers to be paired up and placed into our two sets of parentheses. Over here, we didn't have to worry about that. It was just these, which ones multiply to be negative 72, but add to be negative 1. Now we have to choose a pair from each, and they have to get 23. The factors have to add and subtract to get 23. So let's go through that process. So if I were to choose 15 times 1 and 6 times 1, I'm going to take one of the numbers, one of the factors from these two, and multiply to one of the factors here. So I'll just do first to first. So 15 times 6, that's 90. Yeah. And then 1 times 1 is 1. So 90 plus 1 or 90 minus 1 won't get us 23. And we can now multiply 15 times 1 together and 1 times 6. So they have to, you do it to each one. Okay, 15 times 6, 1 times 1, and then switch on 15 times 1, 1 times 6. So 15 times 1 is 15, 6 times 1 is 6. 15 plus 6 or 15 minus 6 won't give us 23. So let's try these two, this group and this group. 5 times 3 is 15. 3 times 2 is 6. 15 plus 6, 15 minus 6 won't get us 23. Let's try 5 times 2, that's 10. And 3 times 3 is 9. 10 and 9 and 10 minus 9 won't get us 23. Let's try this pair with this pair. So 5 times 6 is 30. 3 times 1 is 3. So 30 plus 3, 30 minus 3 won't get us 23. Now let's try it the other way. Just try 5 times 1, 3 times 6. So 5 times 1 is 5, and 3 times 6 is 18. 18 plus 5 is 23. So it's these two pairs. So the 5 and the 3 will go first. 5x, 3x. These are going to be placed, these are going to be the first terms in each of our binomials, because we know the first terms, when we FOIL, they multiply to get the first term in our trinomial. And then we have to place these, okay? So I want to get 23. So I have to see how I'm going to place 6 and 1 to get 23. I'm going to place the 6 here and the 1 here, because that will get my outside product. My outside terms will multiply to get 5x, and my inside product will be 18x. So 5x's and 18x's get me 23. Okay, so I haven't worried about signs yet. Now I have to. So I have to multiply two numbers that will multiply to get a positive 6. Positive 6, but at the same time add to be positive 23. Where there's only two signs, so we can either multiply positive times positive to get positive 6, or negative times a negative to get a positive 6. But we need to add them to get positive 23. So they're going to have to be both positive. And if you were to FOIL, you should get the original quadratic. So we have first, which is 15x, and then outside is plus 5x. Inside is plus 18x, and last is plus 6. And it's a 15x squared. So 5x times 3x is 15x squared. So 15x squared plus 23x plus 6 is our original trinomial. And so these two binomials are the factors of our quadratic trinomial. Another one. So we have, and the more you do these, just the quicker you will get at spotting the factors and at spotting the numbers at work, and so you can create your factors quicker. Okay, so numbers that multiply to be 9. So 9 times 1, 3 times 3. Numbers that multiply to be 16, 16 times 1. 4 times 4, 8 times 2. And I'm not worried about signs at this point. I'll put down 2 sets of parentheses. One of these pairs is going to be paired up with one of these pairs to get the 30. So let's see, how can I get the 30? I see these two catch my eye. So again, the way you work on getting the 30, you take a factor from this pair of numbers and multiply it to a factor from this pair of numbers. So we'll take 3 times 8 is 24, and 3 times 2 is 6. And 24 minus 6 won't get us 30. How about 24 plus 6? That will get us 30. So it's going to be this pair with this pair. So these two numbers get written down first because we know the first two terms in each binomial will multiply, will FOIL out, and when we FOIL them, we'll get 9x squared. And then I need to place my 8 and 2. Either 8's going to go here, or it's going to go here, 2's going to go here or here. So we have to place them right. So I want to get 24 and 6. So I'm going to place 8 here because that'll get me 24. And 2 here because that'll get me 6. And now I need to worry about my signs. That's my last step. So I need to multiply to get a positive number and add to get a positive number. So I'm going to have them both be positive. And if I FOIL, that's checking my work, I should get the original quadratic. So first, outside, inside, and left. So that is going to be 9x squared plus 30x plus 16, which is my original quadratic. So these two binomials are the factors of our quadratic. And that's it. So let's do another one. Let's see. 12x squared minus x minus 6. So numbers that multiply to be 12, numbers that multiply to be 6. 12 times 1, 4 times 3, 2 times 6, 6 times 1, 3 times 2. And I need to get a 1. So let's see. The 3 and the 2. So here, let's see. So we're going to multiply 4 times 3 is 12. 3 times 2 is 6. So I have 12 and 6. 12 plus 6, 12 minus 6 won't get me 1. But let's try the 4 times the 2 now. That's 8. And then the 3 times the 3 now. That's 9. So 8 and 9, 8 plus 9 will get me 1, but 9 minus 8 will get me 1. So 4 and 3 and 3 and 2 are going to work. So I'm going to place the 4 and the 3 into each of my binomials first, or the first terms in each binomial multiply to get the first term in the trinomial, and then 3 and 2. I want to get 8 and 9. I want to get 8 and 9. So I'm going to put the 2 here to get 8, and the 3 here to get 9. Okay? Still not done though. Now we need to place our signs. I need to multiply to get a negative number. So I need the signs to be different. One needs to be plus, one needs to be minus. But I need to add to get negative, a negative 1. And you add to be a negative 1. So I want my bigger product to be the negative. So I want the 9 to be negative and the 8 to be positive. So if you're still not sure, let's FOIL. So first, outside, inside, and last. So we get 12, let's see, 12x squared minus x is minus 6. And that is our original quadratic. So those are our two binomials. These are the two factors of this quadratic. They're pretty easy. We'll get the hang of it pretty quickly. Let's see, 20, let's do another one. 20x squared minus 11x minus 3. Okay, so let's try 5 times 4. See, we have 3 times 1. So we have, look at 5, and I know there's a lot of factors of 20, but I'm just kind of thinking 5 and 4 and 3 and 1 will work. So let's see if that works. So 5 times 3 is 15. 4 times 1 is 4, and 15 minus 4 will be 11. So I could have listed like 2, 10, 2 and 10, 20 and 1, but I already saw it. I can already, you start thinking about it, start thinking about the factors in your head, and you kind of can already see it. So I'm going to put 5x here and 4x here, right? Because these will multiply to get 20. And I'm going to go ahead and put, see, I want 15 and I want 4. So I'm going to put the 3 here to get me my 15. And the 1 here to get me my 4. Okay, still not done. I got to put the signs. I need to multiply to get a negative number. So one sign has to be plus, one has to be minus. But I want them to add to be negative. So I want the bigger product to be a negative. So I'm going to put the minus here to get me my minus 15. And the plus here to get me plus 4x. So minus 15x's plus 4x's is negative 11x's. And you can FOIL the whole thing out to see if you get the original trinomial, and you will. So I'm going to go ahead and just leave it like that. Let's do one more. So let's do two more. So let's see, 8a squared minus 6a minus 27. Okay, so numbers that multiply to the 8, and I'll go ahead and list them all out this time. 27. Okay, my two sets of binomials. I need a 6. Again, I'm not worried about signs right now. I'm not going to worry about signs till I place everything, and then I worry about signs. I need a 6. Let's see. We have, if we look at these two, 4 times 3 is 12. 2 times 9 is 18. 18 minus a 12 will be 6. So this pair needs to be paired with this pair. So I have 4x, 2x, right? These two get placed first. Now I have to worry about where I place my 3. So basically when you're placing these two, you just place them first. There's no thinking about it. But then when you place these two, you have to think about, well, I want that 6. So I want to put my 9 here and my 3 here so I can get that 12 and that 18, because I know 18 minus 12 will get me 6. Still not done. I now need to place my signs correctly. I need to multiply two numbers to get a negative number. So one needs to be plus, one needs to be minus. But at the same time, they have to add to be negative 6. So I want the bigger product to be a minus. I'm going to put the minus here and the plus here, because that will give me a positive 12x minus 18x. And 12x's minus 18x's will get me negative 6. And this should have been an A. So this should be, because we're dealing with A's. I'm going to catch that. So 4a minus 9, 2a plus 3 should be the factor. Because we're dealing with A's. But yeah, so again, you write down factors of A, of the coefficient of your first term, factors of your C term. One pair of these has to match up with one pair of these to be placed into these binomials. And while you're picking your pairs, you're trying to get that 6. So when you're picking your pairs, what's going through your mind is trying to get that 6. And the way you do that is you take one factor from this set of numbers, multiply to another factor from this set of numbers, and then the other one multiplies to the other factor, and then you add or subtract those. So say if I had done 4 times 9, that's 36. 2 times 3 is 6. Well, 36 and 6, 36 minus 6 won't give me 6. So then I try 4 times 3, 4 times the other factors, that's 12. 2 times 9 is 18. Well, 12 plus 18, or 18 minus 12 get me 6. Yeah, these two, it's going to be these two. And that during this whole process here, I'm not worried about signs yet. During the whole process. Then I place these two automatically go first. Then I have to place these two. I want to get that 18 and that 12. So I put the 9 here to get 18. And I put the 3 here to get the 12. And then I have to place my signs. I need to multiply two numbers to get a negative sign. So one has to be positive, one has to be negative. And then I have to add to be negative. So I want the bigger product to have the minus sign because that gets me negative 18. And then I have a plus 12. So let's do one more to finish it off. To finish off this video. So I have, let's see. Okay, numbers to multiply to be, that will be 3, numbers that multiply to be 4. And I want to get that 10. So 3 times 4 is 12, 1 times 1 is 1, 12 plus 1, 12 minus 1 won't get me 10. Let's try it the other way. 3 times 1 is 3, 4 times 1 is 4. 3 and 4, 3 minus 4 won't get me 10. 4 minus 2 won't get me 10. Let's try 3 times 1 with 2 times 2. 3 times 2 is 6. 1 times 2 is 2. 6 plus 2, 6 minus 2 won't get me 10. So I'm not getting 10. It's not going to happen. This is, we would say this is prime. You can say it's not factorable over the integers. We can't use integers to factor it. Yeah, it's prime. We can't factor it. Irreducible is another word. So we just write then. Can't factor it using integers. Okay, guys, that is all I have for now. I really hope that helped. So again, as you get the hang of this, it really becomes much easier to where, like, say, for example, I think it was it this one? Yeah, I didn't really even write down all the factors. You can kind of pretty much see it, even as you just start looking at the problem. You can see what's going to get you that 11 because you've done several of them. So yeah, just find factors of both, choose accordingly to get the B term, place them within your binomials. So each one of these here, so you can get that 1, and then place your signs and FOIL to check. All right, guys. Well, I hope that helps. Feel free to check out my other videos, and I'll talk to you all in another video. Thanks, guys. Bye.